Good morning, Dr. Bhavna Agrawal, Director, KCC Institute, faculty member of the KCC Institute, students of the institute, and participants of the today's program. I heartily thanks to the organizing committee for inviting me for the event Think Tank 5.0. So I expect today's interaction with you during your presentation and my presentation. Some fruitful outcome will come out from with the help of this particular discussion. So today, initially, I will be delivering a small talk about the innovation, that how innovation will be developed in the lab and then how it goes to the market, and what are the challenges, how the innovator can do the market. That is an important part of the life, because as an academician, as a students, most of us are doing research activity in the lab, and many a times it happens that students think that I am doing innovative ideas, I have an innovative idea for the institute, for the society, how I will go to the market. So there is a set process for doing the market to the particular product, particular process. So there are multiple options. Today's talk is all about the formalities, that process, that how government of India or how society will accept your activities in the scientific manner. That is the ultimate objective of the startup and innovation ecosystems. Can I switch to this my slide? नहीं आ गया. Okay, thank you. So the objective of today's talk is all about that how your innovation will be marketed. That is the objective. Now, when we talk about the innovations, innovation is not a new term. Innovation was started way back in Europe, in India, in other countries, in other part of the world. And when we talk about the innovation, we think that very few innovation activities are carried out in India. The reason is that in India, we are very poor in documentation. That is why we are unable to recognize our innovative ideas, our concepts. So when we say documentation, documentation is very important part if you want to commercialize your activity. Because large number of people, even when you people are a student of your bachelor program, master's program, teacher used to say that this is the research methodologies of the laboratory, or this is the manual process. So you are supposed to write a proper documentation of the particular practical. If the students is doing some experiment on the data analysis, many students, like in one lab, one of the lab in our program is design a Excel chart of the for the given data. So what students think that okay, I have done this in the Excel, I have entered the data in one column, in another column, and draw the pie chart. Then they appear before the teacher that, sir, madam, I have done it. But they have not documented the process. The challenge in the innovation activity is that how you document it and where you are publishing it. In our country, we are poor in the documentation. We are poor in the publications. Again, the same concept appear in the publications. You must have seen many journals are being published by the publishers or printer who are based in Daryaganj or any other place. But you have never seen that publications are being placed in a public domain through some internet servers. Those people are not using the standard architecture of the publication. When you are publishing any article, it means that there must be a unique identification of that particular publication. So we miss that. That culture is in fact is creating problem in our country. Like we are conducting today we are going to conduct a presentation of 4, 5, 6 students who will present their case studies. So the question is that how we are going to document those activities. What are the documents we upload for the future reference? Then only the innovation will be appropriately acknowledged. The innovation is appropriately acknowledged. That is an important part because it is not a research. Research is a one part of the innovation. But innovation, when you are doing some innovation, then definitely the inventor is interested, is looking towards some financial return, number one. Second return is that what type of academic return that inventor gets. So there are only two returns which are attached with the inventor. Basically, first step for the innovation is the inventor. So the inventor will get the academic benefit if that inventor is capable to made the copyright or patent registered in the appropriate bodies. If we take the example of the appropriate bodies, Government of India, in the Indian government, Indian Patent Office is the appropriate body. So if you are claiming that this is the invention done by me, it means that it must be registered in the Indian Patent Office. That is the academic benefit of that. That as if I have done it, it is the academic benefit. Now the second part, that okay, I want to earn some money which are being done through my invention. So for that, you can establish an appropriate company, or you can sell your product to the appropriate company and get the money. Now the question is how to perform these two activities. One activity is how to get the registration of the patent, and second activity is how to generate the money. When you are saying the generation of the money, it means that you are talking about the market. That how you take your product for the commercial activity to the market. So this is being defined when we take the example of the market trend. Transforming ideas into viable business model requires these three specific things. One is structure process of validating demand, building a minimum viable product, and outlining revenue stream. So there are three basic definitions given by the management gurus. Now this is the management gurus definitions, that when you are willing to sell your product, how that product will be sold. Because nowadays what is happening, that we are very much familiar with the various internet medias, various YouTube, Google, large number of public broadcasting system is available to us, and we are continuously watching the different business ideas. Keep in mind that there are large variety of people who are in the society. So everyone has their own idea to succeed. If a person belongs to engineering, then definitely that person will think in a different way. If the person belongs to non-engineering, or if the person is even non-educated, you will find there are large number of industries who are not even educated, but they were succeeded in their business. So that is the innovation, and that is all about the study of these three definitions. That they must have studied that what is the market need, and the one of the good example, you must have seen these examples or studied this example through your course. That one of the example is Dhirubhai Ambani, or you can take the example of Adani. These are the families like Dhirubhai Ambani. Though Dhirubhai Ambani did not have studied, Mukesh Ambani has studied, Anil Ambani has studied. That then their children have studied. But Dhirubhai Ambani, when he has started a business, the business was started on the basis of these three models. And he was started the Reliance industry in the Jamnagar with the vision and with the study of the market that there is a need of a cotton. There is a need of a cotton. So how to go about the, initially he was started the business in cotton. Then he shifted to the chemical industry. The chemical industry shifting was done when his son Mukesh Ambani studied chemical engineering from the Institute of Chemical Technology, and then they started the establishment and their work was started in a larger way. That is the second aspect, because every business needs some technical skills. But when you take the example of the Dhirubhai Ambani, he studied that structure process of validating demand. The Dhirubhai Ambani, the way that fellow roam around the Gujarat, Bombay, understand that what is the need of the market, how to supply the things. So this is the study, and this is a very important part in today's world also. If you are talking about the non-technical job, or if you are talking about the non-technical business, in that case, preparation of the questionnaire is one of the most important part for establishing the business. Whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a cafe, whether it's a big movies, like in nearby area, those people are starting their big business place is there. So they must have studied that there is a need of this type of shops. They will not start the shop like Kirana or grocery shop near to this area, because this is the students area. The market needed restaurants here, cafe house, movie theater, not grocery shop. So this is the example that how they develop the market, they study the market demand and then they start the business. Product, viability of the products, that what type of business we are planning, whether we are planning to establish a cafe house. So what would be the cost, should be the cost of this. Viability is very important part, because see, if you take the example of any big chain, because if we used to take the coffee every day, and there are big chains, Starbucks, and then large number of big brand is there. So it does not mean that the coffee house will only run through the big brand. Ultimately, in every restaurant, there is a material which matters. So if you are looking towards to beat this, you can source the material from the market, because ultimately it is a coffee beans. Market means the coffee beans. The source is coffee beans only. It is not like that the coffee beans is being supplied only to the Starbucks or those number of things. Even large number of things, and that is the example that Chayos the people have done it. The Chayos people have started the startup. Those are the non-technical business. So that is the things. Then revenue model. So these are the basic definitions which is important for starting the business things or innovation. When you are talking about the innovation, so that is how we can go about this. Next. So this is the think tank idea, that how think tank was started, why these Europeans and Americans are way forward than us. What is the issue? So this slide will give you the idea that how they think. Our thinking process is very slow. We have to think in a different way. Innovation means that we have to start thinking in a different way. You can see that in the 1910, then 1920s, then one of the corporation was founded in 1948. Then there was a large number of new innovation happened in world war, and in fact now we are fortunate or unfortunate, we do not know. Nowadays also we are seeing that how world war or how war are fighting. It is equivalent to world war. It is nothing new, because most of the countries of the world are affected due to this war. See, you can't say that we are a party of the war, then only we are affected. There, in any part of the world, there is a war in the previous time also, in the today's time also. Because when World War II or World War I were fighting, happened, both the war was happened in Europe. It never happened in India. Indians were gone there, as a part of the British Army, and they fought the war. No bomb was bombarded in our territory during any of the World War. The same thing is happening today also. The only thing is that we are affected because of the energy crisis, because nowadays we are very much dependent on the energy which are being generated by the country where this world war is happening. This war is happening. In fact, Ukraine did not have affected us because those type of resources are not there in the Ukraine. But because the Middle East is affecting us because we are dependent on the energy. Now, this is the things. Now, how we as an Indian thinks that how we will progress, how we will come out of this particular type of challenge. And I promise you that in India, as a country, we always got benefited because of the crisis. Sometimes it happens that there is a crisis, but this challenges will lead us to make new system. And one of the good example is your UPI, the usage of UPI. Because of the corona, we were forced to use the UPI. UPI was developed earlier also, but due to the corona, large number of people were dependent on the digital transactions. And same situation will happen in our country after 6 months or 2 years, when someone will come forward and analyze that what is the impact of the energy crisis in India, then you will find that we were able to develop our own energy sources with the help of alternative sources. There are alternative sources, we may not have capped it appropriately. Now we will start thinking in that direction. Why to dependent on always on the natural oils or all those systems? There may be alternate systems like solar is there, then there is a system of many things which may happen. So you will find it, and the government is working in this direction, and that is how innovation happens. So this is the story of the Europeans of that time. After 10 to 15 years, people will talk about the story of the innovations happened in India after 10 to 15 years, and you will see it. And even the people started talking about this because innovation is happening in our country. Innovation is now being recognized by the country, and government of India is started promoting the innovation activity through various means. Various means means they have established the academic curriculums, they have provided the appropriate provision in the academic curriculum so that the students who are doing some sort of entrepreneurial activity, they get advantage of that. Those freedoms were not there in our academic system 2 years back, but nowadays, because of the new education policies, the government has started. Everything requires some discussion, some sort of a extension, and the NEP is a part of this. Why NEP comes here? Because government felt that there is a requirement of the innovation, and innovation will happen only if you allow students to think freely, and that is possible only if students are allowed to choose the subject as per their choice. Students are allowed to exit from the program as per their own choice. Students are allowed to pause their academic program as per their choice. All this freedom is required, and this freedom is available nowadays with the help of new education policy. So this is the whole ecosystem where government is pushing that students should come out with the new idea, and you must have seen many things which is happening new in our country. One of the best example of the innovation is your Digi Yatra, the systems which has been implemented in all the airport, most of the airport of the country, across the systems, that now you no need to show any boarding pass. You have registered yourself in the Digi Yatra, and you will see in the Greater Noida, when your Jewar airport will come out, large number of things are coming up here which are advanced in the technology. One of the best example is your Digi Yatra, then your luggage which you are giving it to check-in counters. All those things will come out with a faceless, in non-human interaction system. This is called innovation concepts. So this is how things are happening in our place. Please next. So when we say the think tank, what is think tank? This is an important part. The think tank consists of 4 verticals. One is academic think tank, another is policy, third one is corporate, and fourth one is the companies. These are the verticals that these people discusses the problem here, discusses what are the various outcomes, how to achieve. Think tank is basically allow us to have an open platform where you can come over to this platform, start pitching your ideas. Sometimes your idea may be succeeded, sometimes your idea may not be succeeded, but your idea will give the benefit to the society. So the academics people do the interaction with the students. There are research scholars who do the discussion with the students, and they come out with some idea. Similarly, there are policy makers in the government. Like one of the bigger policy maker is your PwC is one of the think tank. They support the government of India or any government in the country. They analyze the case on the behalf of the client. There are E&Y is another big firm who does the think tank operations. They do develop the policies. Policy is a very important part, because nowadays in India, in our country also, you can see it every day new policies are coming, because every day you will find a new challenge. So those obstacles are required to be removed if you are talking about the development of the policy. So this is how one of the biggest policy which India has changed over the last 10 to 15 years is the direct benefit transfers. Nobody would have thought that we can directly transfer the money to the beneficiary through some unique identity numbers. But nowadays it is possible. Nowadays the system is ready in place. So this is called the policy change. There may not be an innovation, but this is based on the innovation, the policies are changed. Similarly, recently Government of India, the Principal Secretary Office of Prime Minister uploaded a draft document regarding the TLC. So what is happening in that? Because all these policy documents may be available in the European country, in the other developed country, but the policy as such may not be available in our place. So the policy makers prepare the policy document based on the local needs and approve it and get it notified. Similarly, corporate is a very critical part, and the corporate you must have seen various think tank program in the various TV broadcasters, Sony and other things, and we are very much familiar with that, how those people work. There are 3 to 4 persons come, evaluate your idea, beat some percentage of the things and give some funding. So this is nothing but this is called venture capitalist. So there are people who are having a large number of money. They wanted to invest the money in the business. They do not want to enter the business in the direct mode. I have a money, I don't want to enter in the direct mode, but I want to support you. That if you will succeed, I will get 40%, 50% share, depending on that how much fund I have invested. The only challenge is that you have to work, you have to present your case, you have to discuss the issues with the multiple venture capitalists, and those people will invest you. The advantage of this that you are not taking loan. That is not a debt. That is the advantage in this case. In the VC concept, the biggest advantage is that if you do not have money, if someone is parking their money in your idea, and in return they will get the profit share if you earn something after some years, and if you fail, their money will go out. So this is the advantage of the case. So how to go about this? What are the challenges? So one of the technique is the collaboration models. Then so these are the few things that how we do the business, because when you are planning for the innovation activities, it is important that you should be open, because many of the time it happens that you do not want to open your idea in front of anyone. You think that your idea will be taken away by someone. This is not acceptable, because if you will hide the things with your peer group, if you hide the things from your mentor, if you hide the things from your funding agencies, then no one will come out openly and no one will have a trust in you. So if you want to have a better understanding, better idea of the prototype, if you want to improve your idea, then it is always advisable to make the collaboration, conduct the discussions through various platforms. So there are various platforms which are available, like workshops. You must have seen many a times the industries conducts the workshops. Though as a students you rarely visit those places, but these workshops are very beneficial. In fact, nowadays you must have seen large number of expos are conducted here in Delhi and India. The purpose of this expo is give the idea about the innovations. If you have ever, I don't know how many of you have ever attended the Indian Mobile Congress, the expo which was conducted every year now for last 2 to 3 years. Large number of startup students are participating in those IMC. And what is happening in there? You will see that 2-3 students are standing with a stall in one of this place, and they are only giving idea about that how they have implemented the one signal processors. Simple. They have implemented one signal processor which is having a less noise. The idea is like this: they have simulated with the help of some software, developed the tap out project, and their ICs are ready. And this is what it is happening, and this is happening because government is supporting. You must have seen many a times Honorable Minister is stating that we will come out with our own IC within 6 months, within 8 months. That when you are saying our own chip, it means that they are talking about the tape out. The concept started from the design on software and finally fabrications. So the complete cycle is required to be carried out. So those cycles, so definitely startup people will not be able to fabricate the IC, but they are able to design a small circuits, and those circuits can be with the help of support of venture capitalist or someone else can be given to the fabrication units. So this happens only if you are attending the appropriate workshops. There are large number of workshops. In fact, in the computer science and electronics nowadays, a large number of industries like AMD, Intel, TSMC, Tata Electronics, those people are conducting workshops on a regular basis. The purpose of the workshop or purpose of the hackathon being conducted by this industry is to find out the talent amongst the Indian students, so that if a talent is there, those talents will help them to make the design in a better way, because this is the challenge area. You cannot use the same design which are being patented by someone else. See, every design is being patented. Architecture is patented. Like if you take the example of your desktop processor architecture, i7, or most of the people are using i9, you cannot start fabricating your own processor based on that architecture. It is being patented by the Intel. If you are planning to fabricate your own computers, it means that first task is to find out the solution to have your own architecture of the processors. and that architecture requires the discussion that how you will make the new architecture. And why our mobile phone are being developed? Because ARM architecture, the architecture which are used in the mobile devices are freely available. They are non-licensed product, while the architecture which was developed by the Intel and AMD are the licensed product. So you have to purchase the license from those people, then only you are permitted to fabricate the device and do the commercial activities. So this is the one definition is being given in your own because a large number of people belongs to the management. So start up with mentorship, access grow 3x faster and have higher investment. So this is why it is important. Many a times when we are talking with our students, some of the students are doing term paper work, some of the students are doing project work, but they take it very lightly. They if it is an offline project, so very few students interact on a regular basis, or they interact with on a day-to-day basis that how the project will be implemented, what are the cases, how to prepare the research methodologies, what is the analysis aspects. So it is important that you must engage your mentor. If you will engage your mentor for your project activities, for your startup activity, for your innovation activity, it will help us and you will grow faster. This is the definition given by your own Harvard Business Review. It's a popular business review journal of a management people. We must follow it. Now when we say the innovations, innovation is always connected with a sustainable development goal. So the question is how this innovation will fulfill the sustainable development goal. Now in every case, if you are developing a healthcare applications, so you have to, when you are when this is required, when you are doing marketing to sell your product, at that time there is a need of to show that how which sustainable development goal parameters will be fulfilled by your particular project. So those activities is important for this, and sustainability is the one of the key aspects for the innovation activity. Yes. Okay. This is all about this. Now, one of the most important part in the innovation ecosystem, how to do the commercialization of your product. Our ultimate objective, as I told you in the initial slide, that ultimate objective is to commercial the part. So how those commercial activity will happen? The commercial activity happens based on these 9 parameters. This is called technology readiness level frameworks. So if you approach to any venture capitalist or if you approach to any funding agency, they will ask only one question to you. What is the TRL level of your product? Are you in TRL 9 or are you in TRL 1? It is a standard definition. As long as you are talking about the funding purposes. When you are talking about the funding agency, if you say that you cross the TRL 1, it means TRL 1, 2 and 3. These are the 3 TRL which are being supported by the government or any funding agency for doing research only. There is no concept of any, this is a laboratory work. The research work, laboratory work or data analysis. So those TRL 1, TRL 2, TRL 3, as in the academic institution we used to do everything. Very few students or very few persons crosses 3, level 3. So as soon as you crosses 3, then development and demonstration. That is a part of the. So if you reach to this 4, 5, 6, if you are able to demonstrate your product, it means that your design of a product is ready, and if you have crossed the level 3, and if you reach to the level 4, you are able to register your invention in the patent office. So as soon as you reach to the level 4, 5, 6, you are probably able to get the registration of your patent. You must have seen, if you ever seen in the IPR or in the patent, in the Google also they have a one tab of patent. Large number of security algorithms are invented by Indians. One of the best example of this one algorithm is your BHIM, BHIM. This is the algorithms which are developed by the students of IIT Bombay with the collaboration of IDRBT Hyderabad, and this outcome happened of the submission after the submission of 2 or 3 theses, not a one thesis, 2 or 3 theses. After this particular algorithm was tested and implemented by Indian bank system for the transaction purpose. And in throughout the world, no country has this secure algorithms for transfer of the real-time transaction of money. No country, no, even US, take the example of US, take the example of UK, any developed country, no one has the API systems which are running on the zero error transactions without any transaction fees. They do not charge a transaction fees if you are performing a transaction through BHIM protocol. If you are using third-party app, then only the charges are required, and those third-party banking sites are required to use the background, the BHIM API. It is compulsory for those people. They cannot go beyond that. They do not have access to the bank server. What is the advantage of the BHIM? That it is a secure layer over the banking servers. So no third party has access to the banking servers. No one can enter in the banking system directly. That is the advantage of the innovation concept, innovation idea developed by the country or citizen of this country. So when we say the level 7 to 9, so until unless you reach to the level 7 and 9, 7, 8, 9, then only your product will be funded by the venture capitalists or any funding agencies, like large number of government bodies who are providing the funding through the if you reach to the level 7 to 9. So how this is important for you? Just next slide. Now you can see it here. This TRL framework was developed by NASA, and the government of India has not accepted yet. So venture capitalist people are using this for providing funding, but government of India, when they needed to fund the startup, there is a vacuum. This is a policy gap. So recently, nowadays, this particular framework guideline policy document is being uploaded by the Principal Secretary of PMO. It is a notified draft, and this is the framework through which they are asking the citizen of the country to submit their feedback, and this is the document which will be later on notified by the President of India. So this is how new things is coming up by the people. Next please. When we say the funding, so who gives the fund? The biggest challenge of the innovations or startup is to generate the funding. One of the easy way is the venture capitalist. If they see any business, any return in your business, then they are ready to invest in your idea. The only problem is they will ask the share. That is the challenge. So initially you can think that how much percentage of share can be given to a person who will be giving the funding, 10%, 15%, because in the initial phase of any business there is a huge requirement of investment. Later on the business will start earning something. And one of the best example of the venture capitalist model is the Paytm. And today, why the share of the Paytm is very low compared to the market capacity of the Paytm? The reason is that the investor model is not appropriately placed. Because when those three friends started the business way back when they were the student of Delhi College of Engineering, one fellow, the person who is recently running the things, used to invest the money, but another fellow who was the business partner in the initial days, but later on withdrawn from the self-withdrawn, you can't say, because initially there was no as such business. So on one anyway, you can say, okay, from tomorrow I am not going to give my contribution to the business. And this started created problem because that person had a share, though he has not contributed his share during the investment. But when company came out for the listing, they started legal challenges, they started some sort of a business legal issues and all those things, and because of those issues it impacted the business of a Paytm, and the share market did not return the appropriate value of the share of the Paytm as they desired, because they have doing very good business. Keep in mind that in our country, even though there are many UPI systems are available, Phone Pay, Paytms, Google Pay is also there, but Paytm has a huge share. The way they are doing the business and Phone Pay are doing the business, it is one of the contribution to the society, because the way they are helping, because it is not in our country, it is not like that you launch the one system, but they are penetrating to the society through their representative, their executive. They are giving awareness to the small vendors that how to do the business, what is the process of the registration. The registration process easiness is happening because of those people. If you would have expected that government bank would have done this, then this never it happened. This is happening because there are large number of executives who are working day and night to make the merchant aware about this activity. They are encouraging the people to use it. So this is the one of the advantage of the things, and this is the good contribution being done by the society. Second funding opportunities is various funding agencies. These are the few popular funding agencies. One is called Atal Innovation Mission, another is DST, ITBI. Similar funding agencies are available in other ministries also. In the Ministry of Electronics and IT, it is a one funding system. Then in the some petroleum, there are, every ministry has their own funding pattern. They provides the funding for the specific purposes. That is the only reason. When you talk about the Atal Innovation Mission, so they provide a good funding. They give the people, if they like, then they give the more than 1 crore funding. The advantage of that is their funding is liberal. They will ask very limited percentage of share in your business. That is the advantage, and the pressure is not like other venture capitalists. But the process is tough because there are multiple rounds, multiple process, and another things that you have to approach this Atal Innovation Mission funding through some incubation center. So there is a requirement of to approach the Atal Innovation Center. which are established here also in Greater Noida. One of the popular Atal Incubation Center is your, I think, Birla Institute of Management. It is nearby some area. That is a popular. They are Atal Innovation Mission. They are claiming that it is a good incubation center. So it is. They do not restrict that only the students of the Birla will get the benefit. Even in IP University, we have a Atal Incubation Center, and being a students of IP University, you can approach to the Atal Incubation Center for funding. We do provide the funding through the Atal Incubation Center. We do provide the support for establishment of the lab, establishment of the other activity. We do have a very good office. So the purpose of the Atal Incubation Center is to motivate students for doing business. Because business means first requirement is that you need a proper office. That is most important part in your of business. Business can never be run from the home. Keep in mind, even though you have a vision to start the CA, if you are planning to start the consultancy, keep in mind that you must have an office. Office is the commercial office is the most important part for establishing the business. And we have a large number of examples where because of the office address of the Atal Incubation Center GGSIU, many of the startups who are established there, they are getting good business from the government departments. We have seen because when you are communicating with the clients, the address is there, that where is the address, that is the first requirement, and we do provide all the facilities, that is a free of cost. If you are registered with any of the incubators, like in the IP University, you must visit. I don't know whether you have visit or not, but you should go visit the Atal Incubation Center. It's a good incubation center available in our university. And then we have a second incubation center, IPU Innovation and Incubation Foundation, that is situated in East Campus, and one of the company is doing very well there. One of the company who are in the sector of the energy monitoring of the building, those students belong to the architectures, and they have employed more than 10 persons. You just imagine, they have employed more than 10 persons, and we are giving excellent infrastructure to those people. You can go there, you can visit, interact it, and that is the reason for the various funding methods to provide financial support to the students, to the innovators, so that they get the registrations there. And another problem which happens in this innovation, when you started thinking that okay, I have some idea, I want to do the business. So first step is that what is the process of startup registration? That is the most critical part. You need a legal advice. This is the financial things. You cannot ignore like this. If you ignore it, then the same problem will happen what happened with the people, because they have not taken the legal advice in the initial phase. The legal advice is that you must have an appropriate registration of your business. That article of association, memorandum of understanding. These are the few things which is important, and these registrations are being done in the legal office of the government. And this legal activity are being supported by the incubation center. In the Atal Incubation Center, we have a legal IPR persons who helps students do the registration free of cost. That is the another advantage of this incubation center. Third one is that the incubation center letterhead is applicable, and it is a verifying agency for issuing any address proof. So you will get the address proof for your office, you will get the address proof for your PAN, you will get the address proof for your GST compliances. So because when you are talking about the business, you have to think in a legal terms, that how you will populate the business. And if you do not have, because no financial transactions should happen on a personal account. This is the most important part. In the initial days, we do the mistake. We do some transaction on our personal account. That is wrong. So next. Okay. So this is the home page for the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. They do the registration of all these startups. They talk about the limited company. There are 3 categories, and all these 3 categories of the registrations are being done by this particular portal. This is the online process. Individual can also do the registration. No need to hire legal persons too. If you are well aware with the rules and regulations, there is a Company Act 2013. If you are able to understand that what is the Company Act, what is the meaning of the collaborator, what is the meaning of investor, what is the meaning of the shareholder. If you understand it, no need to hire the persons. If you do not understand the legal terms, the understanding of the shareholder is very important part. Sometimes we say that okay, I am a 50% shareholder, you are a 20%. So it impacts the overall financial aspect of the company. So this site will help us to find out this because this is a very important site for any startup persons. Ultimately, if you started business, then you need to file a compliances on an annual basis through this portal only. So it is a very excellent site. Login ID, password is available. You can do the registrations. Then digital signatures are required. You have to again find out the digital signature. That is why legal team is required. It is always advisable that you should not do everything your own. If you are concentrating on the one business, let us concentrate on business. The rest of the process will be carried out by the concerned legal team. Okay, please. Then second important step is that you are looking towards a registration, or if you are looking towards a business, you must be registered this Startup India program. So Startup India program will give the unique identity. With the help of this registration, you are able to get many exemptions in the government tendering process, bidding process, government work, because this will allow you to do the business in a proper way. That is the advantage. So these are the various activities which are being carried out. Next. So this is all about from my side. I am open for any queries and discussion.